Hey there, friends. It's David D. at PRM, and today I'm going to be going over Andrew Yang's PBS NewsHour interview. So Andrew Yang is coming off of a very successful CNN town hall, and he's making the rounds, this time to PBS NewsHour, and I took down a bunch of notes. Andrew talked about his usual stuff, but he also mentioned some stuff he doesn't usually talk about that we're going to go over. Okay, so the lead question was very peculiar. It was about Ilhan Omar and Donald Trump. And Andrew gave his feedback about that incident, how it's actually multiple incidents now. Like Donald Trump has multiple times now gone after Ilhan Omar, and the host wanted some feedback on that. And Andrew believes that Ilhan Omar's words about 9/11 were taken out of context, and I believe they were too. And he believed a lot of this is manufactured outrage, needless provocation on the part of Donald Trump, which I totally agree with. It's just kind of disgusting. But at the same time, like this, I just thought this was an interesting lead question, because why do we like Andrew Yang? Because he talks about policy all the time. So it was just interesting to hear someone lead off with a non-policy question to Andrew Yang. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting lead question. But after that, he eventually got into the meat of his policies about UBI, about the value-added tax, about the trickle-up economy. These are all very popular Andrew Yang talking points and policies. And I just want to elaborate a little bit as a side note about the value-added tax. I'm starting to understand it more. And if you want to understand it more, I'm going to read this to you. The value-added tax is collected by all sellers in each stage of the supply chain: suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers all pay VAT on their purchase. Okay, as opposed to sales tax, which we all know about and we all do, is collected by just the retailer. So Andrew Yang said the VAT tax on all of these, this whole supply chain of suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers, is going to accumulate to $800 billion a year, and this is going to pay the bulk of the $1,000 a month universal basic income that he is proposing. So I just wanted to dig a little deeper in on that one. I think I'm starting to understand the VAT a little bit more now. Okay, on to Medicare for All, public option. This is one of the things I actually disagree with Andrew Yang on. I firmly believe that Bernie Sanders and Jayapal's Medicare for All proposals are superior to the public option, which Andrew supports the public option. Andrew Yang believes that putting the public option on the market, people are going to come to it organically, and eventually it'll be so good that the private insurance companies will fade out and phase themselves out naturally, because everyone will flock to the public option. I understand the public option, but I also understand 30 million Americans don't have health care right now, and somewhere between 30,000 to 45,000 Americans die every year because they don't have health care. And we need to go as far as we can with health care. And I'm talking to you, Yang Gang, out there. Like we can push Andrew on this. I believe he listens to us. I think we can get him to back either Jayapal or back Sanders and promote that one instead. I believe we have some sway with them. So if you're for those, Sanders bills or Jayapal's bills, let's let him know about it. Because I think he'll just listen to what we have to say. So let's push him on that. Okay, so the interviewer also stated her excitement for Andrew Yang coming on the show today, because Andrew has so many policies. And they went over his website. And if you go to andrewyang.com, or is it Andrew Yang 2020, I'll leave it down below. He just has dozens of well thought out policy proposals. And like I said before, that's why we like Andrew Yang. He talks policy. He doesn't give us cliches and platitudes. He gives us policy talk. And even if you disagree with those policies, let's give him credit for someone who dominates the narrative with policies. Okay, like we have to embrace people who do that. Okay. And one of those policies that they pulled off his website was about decriminalizing opiates. Now, decriminalizing possession of users, not of drug dealers. Very different thing here. Because the reason why he wants to decriminalize opiates for users is because we throw those users directly into jail. Okay, and we need to get them into treatment and rehabilitation ASAP, not into prison. We don't need to throw them in the criminal justice system. Once again, they're not drug dealers. These are drug users. We need to come from a place of compassion and humanity. Andrew recognizes that, and I give him credit for it. And lastly, foreign policy. Now, I've been saying Andrew does not talk enough about foreign policy, so I'm glad that this came up. He said things to the effect of rebuilding partnerships and alliances because they've crumbled over the years, and they have greatly degraded over the years, and some of our allies just don't trust us anymore. So we spoke about that. And he said, quote, our foreign policy should reflect how we are doing at home, and also that the reason why Trump is president is because we're falling apart at home. And he's very on point when he says that. Our foreign policy, he also quoted, saying, our foreign policy should also become more restrained and judicious as we rely more on the UN and other multilateral agencies. Fully agree. America taking all of these humanitarian wars, getting in the country on our own, with bypassing Congress, bypassing the judges, bypassing the American people, and just doing things, it's ridiculous. And then leaving the UN out of the equation is ridiculous, and NATO and all these other multilateral agencies. We need to work with them, okay? So he's pretty on point with these right here. I want to hear Andrew Yang talk more about foreign policy, because one of the complaints I hear is that he doesn't talk about it enough, and I agree with that. But the things he does say, I pretty much agree with. So that was a pretty decent interview. I'll probably leave it down in the link below. But let me know what you thought of this. I want to know your thoughts on what he said here. All right, like, share, subscribe, and click the bell on the side.